So thank you so much for watching our parent information session. We hope that it gave you some good, helpful information on ways to support your child, not only through the COVID-19 pandemic, but also with life stresses and uncertainties that do come up. We had recorded that for a group that was that we ran earlier in the year. So we wanted to give some updates about the specific summer group that we're running. And hopefully this will answer some more specific questions for you. So the main purposes of this summer group is to help your child learn some helpful and healthy coping strategies for managing their low mood, some stress, increased worry. The examples that we'll be using will be related to COVID-19, but as I had said, we can use the strategies that they're learning in lots of parts of their lives in lots of situations. And we're hoping that having the group over the summer where they can access it will help reduce some of their feelings of isolation, and just reminding them that they are not alone through this, and there certainly are others struggling too, and certainly there are people that want to support and help them. Just to give you a bit of an overview, as you know, it's a 7-session group. So these are, each week we're going to be focused on a different coping strategies, starting with the first one being around gratitude. We're then going to focus on emotions and relaxation. We will focus on mindfulness and self-compassion, benefits of social connections, how to cope in uncertain times, benefits of getting active and exercise, and how to manage your worried thoughts. So each week we have a different one, and sometimes they kind of intertwine throughout, but each week is a separate group, then they can learn a different strategy. So as I mentioned, it's going to be 7 sessions. Because they are all recorded separately, your child can watch them in whatever order they really want to. We're really hoping that they do watch all 7 because you are learning different strategies, and it's important for them to know which ones are going to be the most helpful for them. But there's by no means, if they miss one or decide to skip one, they can absolutely join in watching another one after that, or go back and watch the one missed. Sessions will be about an hour or less, so hopefully they will be able to stay engaged during that time. There is a workbook that they can download if they want to follow along, so it's not necessary. They'll still get a ton out of the group without it. They can either download it just to their computer and type in it there while we're working on it during the group. They can print it out and they can write on it, or they can just have a blank notebook and they can just jot things down in their own notebook as we go along. They can access that at the DCDSB website. So the link for that workbook should be close to where you found the link for the group, or you can go to the Trails to Wellness website, and if you go under the materials section, it talks about group materials, and it says for grades 9 to 12, there's a section there which will have the coping with COVID-19 workbook information. So unfortunately, you can't get direct access with Kim and I during the group, as we don't have access to our email and our voicemail during the summer. But the great thing is that there is access to a social worker through the Durham board over the summertime, and you can reach somebody through the number and the extension below. So this is meant if you have any questions, any concerns, if you want to get linked with any resources in the community or have any questions about those resources, or just not sure where to start, knowing that you want some support for your child, but just not sure where to start. If you do call that number below, you can leave a message, and a social worker from the Durham Catholic District School Board will be back in touch with you within a day or 2.
So like we promised, we wanted to share some resource information with you all. There's tons of great stuff out there. Some of it's always been there, but some of it's new since the pandemic has started. So you'll see the first link there, School Mental Health Ontario. There's information there for parents and for kids. And that resource, School Mental Health Ontario, they provide lots of supports and strategies to any of the mental health supports that are in the schools, and also they have mental health resources for teachers. So there's some great resources there. Jack.org has partnered with Kids Help Phone. So Kids Help Phone is something that some people are familiar with, but jack.org has some COVID-19 specific information. So you'll see the link there. They have a youth hub. And so there's tons of information there for kids that they can use to learn some of the skills and strategies to manage the pandemic. About Kids Health, which is offered by Sick Kids, has some great information. UNICEF also has some awesome documents for parents around supporting their kids during the pandemic. And also the Center for Disease Control and Prevention has a very unique and detailed parental resource kit. So those are resources for you as parents. There's also some workbooks and self-help manuals that are out there that may be something that you would want to look into. So the CARD system is a strategy, and you can see on the right-hand side, each of the letters is a specific strategy, and it's all related to managing worries or anxiety. There's also the Mindful Parenting Family Toolkit. So if you're wondering or interested in introducing some mindfulness practice into your family routines, that's a great resource to get started. Coping at Home for Families During COVID-19 is a resource that gives some specific strategies for family units that people can use to start to improve their coping skills and abilities during the pandemic. And also Living with Worry and Anxiety Amidst Global Uncertainty. So this is a great resource for families, specific to COVID-19, but also really applicable to any uncertainty. And so they reference global uncertainty, but the strategies would apply to any kind of uncertainty that your family may be faced with. We also wanted to provide you some information about apps, because there are tons of really great apps out there for people to access. All of these apps can be downloaded on an Android or on an Apple device, and they're all free. So Thinkful and Happify are two apps that really focus on kind of getting in touch with your mood and your thoughts, and really trying to introduce some positive thoughts and strategies into your everyday. Calm and Breathe are two apps that are focusing on relaxation and mindfulness. So a lot of different relaxation and mindfulness practices in those two apps that, kids can use, teens can use, but also parents can use to start to practice those strategies. Mindshift and My Thought Journal are two apps that focus on, overthinking and worrying, and they use a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy strategies. So that idea that, being aware of what we think and how we're feeling, that connection between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, but also that idea that, when we're aware of our thoughts, we can do lots to challenge some of the thoughts that we may be having that are irrational or maybe not based in evidence, but more in worry. And so they provide a lot of strategies and supports focused on those ideas. And then the app on the bottom, Managing Your Stress and Anxiety, was put together by CAMH, and that app is specific to COVID-19. So you'll see, lots of strategies and support specific to the pandemic. On this slide, you'll see some of the resources and strategies in the community. So these are resources that people can connect with. If you're wanting more support in addition to the group, or you think that the group is not going to be enough for your child, these are some of the resources that are out there for you that may be able to provide more assessment and intervention. And you'll see right on the top there, our social work access line that Jillian mentioned before. So Durham Catholic students and families can access some social work support. And then on the bottom, you'll see a number of resources in the community. So the Women's Multicultural Resource and Counseling Center, Catholic Family Services of Durham, KINARC, and the Durham Crisis Line. So those are all agencies that you can reach out to for some more counseling support.
So we're hopeful that your child is open to joining and watching our videos, and you can certainly watch with them as well. And we're hoping that they learn some strategies that can be helpful now and in the future for them.